Did you get it? Is it on?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Taking Over the World with Ed and Aaron. What's up, buddy?
That's right. Hey, life is good, buddy. How's it with you?
Awesome. Amazing.
All right. Let's jump right into it.
Go.
I started laughing when we got in here.
Yep.
Because I've been holding on to something that I wanted. This is why Monday morning is the best, right? We get a chance to catch up and kind of go over some things, right?
Okay. I'm ready.
Here's my first topic. Has there ever been something that like you normally do with ease and then like you do it all the time, it's kind of part of your routine, and then like one day you just wake up and like something goes wrong with it and it makes you think like, dude, you're getting older, or like you're losing your edge?
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened?
Here's the story.
Gotta hear this.
So, right, I'm pretty handy around the house. I do all my own repairs, or try to, right? My rule at my house is like if something's broken, I get first crack at it, right?
First
like,
dibs.
Yeah, I get first act. Like if it's broken and I break it more, I mean, okay, it's probably the same cost to repair it anyway, right? But if I fix it, great, right? So just like we did, I'll get into that story in a minute. I got to go with this one first, though. I'm doing the landscaping yesterday at my house. So this house that's been next to us, auctioned off. It's been a disaster. Overgrown crap everywhere, right? So they got the whole thing. I mean, they got bulldozers out there, like not the house, but the backyard, right?
Right.
So then realize like how overgrown my stuff has actually gotten. So I'm like, all right, no baseball tournaments, no nothing this weekend. Sunday, I'm doing the landscaping, right? So I get after it, right? And I'm starting. And one of the things that I always do is that between us, there's a big block wall, and I get on top of it with my hedgers, and I trim the top of my tree, and that way I can make sure nothing falls into the neighbors. Right? Respectful gardening, right? Hashtag respectful landscaper, right? So my boys, right? I'm putting them to work, right?
Right.
I'm like, all right, I'm going to throw stuff down. Be careful of the stickers. Just start raking stuff up. As I see them, they're down there with like freaking my big old choppers, like making swords, right? Perfect. I'm up on top of the wall. I've done it a million times, right?
Right.
I'm a pretty sure-footed guy. Like, I feel confident up there.
Oh, no. Did you fall?
Caught my cord, fell off the wall, into the thorn bush. And I'm like, I look like I'm swimming, right? Trying to this wall is probably like about an 8-foot wall, right? And I mean, the thorn bush is like right there. So I only fell about like a foot, but into the top of the thorn bush. It's starting to pull away from the wall, right? I'm holding onto the wall. I drop the hedgers down, obviously. I try not to cut my, like a major artery or die or something, right? The boys are just like laughing at me, right? And I swim out of the thorn bush, and I get to the top of it. I'm like, that has never happened. I pride myself on being athletic and sure-footed. And damn it, I fell off the wall into the thorn bush. I mean, hands are cut up, and I'm just like, this is embarrassing. And I thought to myself, I'm like, is this the sign that, like, I just can't do the stuff that I used to do? Or was it just a bad incident?
So
but I fell into a thorn bush.
So
into a thorn bush.
You know, that it's funny because now that you say it that way, yes, there's a ton of stuff that I used to be able to do with ease and just didn't even think about it. And now, I don't know if I don't want to do it.
Right.
Or if I can't do it, but I pretend I can't do it. So like Mercy and the kids, like a lot of stuff, I go to do something, like fix something around the house or do something or put something together. And I'm like, just call somebody.
Right.
And they're like, you used to do everything.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not young anymore. But I don't know if I still can or can't. I just don't know if I choose not to do it. But you falling off, that
was bad.
That means you can't do it anymore.
I know.
That's
I was
off.
up there. I was like, and then later that day, the plan was to do the Christmas lights, right? On the outside of the house. Listen,
Right.
I'm not wavering. Don't come at me. I'm still pro Thanksgiving, right?
Right.
But I was like, okay, this is the only day I have time to do my sketchy
like
house
top
lights. Last year, we got lazy. We took the old man way out. I just went like above the garage, around the stuff where I just needed like my basic 10-foot ladder.
You didn't go 32 ladder
no,
last time?
No. And we were like, as soon as we put them up, we're like, nope. We phoned it in. So this year, my wife's like, all right, we got to go back up top. I'm like, okay. So I want you to I'm going to paint this picture for you. Like as you're driving down the street and like you live on my block, you see my truck backed into the driveway about 3/4 of the way.
Right.
Like tailgate down. You see my wife sitting in the back of my truck in the bed like in like a wall sit position, holding onto a 26-foot extension ladder, because the angle has to get over the steepness of
Right.
the pitch of the roof,
Right.
right? So it has to be in the back of the truck to get up over that. I'm climbing up the thing with like my staple gun. Where I put a rope on it so I can bite it, so I can hold on to my staple gun, climbing up to like the highest point in my thing. After falling into the thorn bush
I have
that
questions
day,
about this.
I was like, maybe today's not the day with you, the lights. And then my wife goes, you just not want to do it. I was like, listen, I didn't tell her, right? Because I thought the boys were going to rat me out for sure. And they didn't.
Right.
All
They didn't?
Shout out to the boys, right? They didn't rat me out.
Nice.
And I was like, listen, I got to tell you something. She's like, what happened? I fell off the wall into a thorn bush. She's like, yeah, I mean, I could have seen that one coming. I was like, really? I was like, maybe today's not the day we go up on the 26-foot extension ladder, you holding it in the back of the truck, like semi-shady, right? But we pulled it off. And I beat Big Christmas, okay? Big Christmas, if you can hear me, I'm not falling for it anymore, right? You buy the land, but you buy the Christmas lights every year, right? We've got I've got it all mapped out, right? I know everything goes on my house.
You have a diagram.
I got it perfectly, like Clark W. Griswold. I got it so it maps out perfect. Well, this year, 2 of my strands, the wire had come out of the light bulb.
Ooh.
Yeah, so what do they want me to do? Big Christmas wants me to go back down to Home Depot, buy nay.
You fixed it.
Oh, yeah, I had my wire cutter.
MacGyvered it.
My wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm fixing these Christmas lights. She's like, we could go to Home Depot. I was like, that's what they want you to do. We're not doing it. Hey, and they're all working.
So you know what though? That perfectly leads into my question about you and the truck and your wife and the ladder.
Ooh, sounds like a joke.
No, it's an actual question. So
guy walks into a truck. Guy walks into a bar with the truck, his wife, and the ladder.
Question is, so in your mind, the easiest way to get your staple gun up to the second floor with you is tying it around a rope and holding the rope in your mouth.
Yeah.
Like if you were a pit bull or something.
Yeah.
Not go to Home Depot and buy one time a bag where you could just put it on the side and go up.
No way.
No, okay.
I'm not a belt guy.
Not a belt guy.
No. I mean, I'm not a construction belt guy. Oh, no way.
So in other words, just wing it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, dude, man. Last year, I think I put it like on a zip tie. And I put like a clip on my belt, but then I lost my zip tie. I thought that was fancy last year, but
Zip ties?
yeah, zip tie stuff. But hey, it's done. I didn't die. Only the house lights are up, but I definitely felt older and proud.
Did you get back on there and finish trimming the bush?
Oh well, luckily yes. But I was like now like almost sitting on the fence instead of like I normally stand. I'm like,
yeah.
I kind of sat down.
Okay.
I was like, dude,
a little cautious.
Well,
trying to be OSHA compliant the second time.
Oh no, OSHA compliant has no place in my household. I was more like, okay, the boys have already seen me fall once. They can't see me fall twice.
So that begs a question. So when you were young, at what point would you have gotten on the wall to trim? Because how old is your oldest?
12.
12. So by 12, when you were growing up, would you have been trimming?
I would have been, yes.
Okay. So then,
I don't trust my 12-year-old with a set of hedgers. Right? He cut his hand off. Brooklyn, I'd give it to her, but she'd be chasing people around the yard with it.
Okay. She'd be trying to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Okay.
She'd be like, guys, check this out. The bush is over there.
Okay. So that now is my question. Do we coddle nowadays?
Yes.
So you coddle your kids?
I don't say we coddle per se. I think society trains us to coddle more now than ever.
Okay.
I think it's like looked upon now. Like if you don't coddle, oh my God, do you not love your children? It's like I mean, you go back in the old day, right? Like we'd go like every summer, all summer. We lived in not like back in California. Like we didn't live in a gated community, anything like that. But down our block, you're talking maybe about 8 or 9 houses. I can probably remember till there's the big old park, right? And they had basketball courts, playground, softball field, and all summer they would have like a camp set up there. Like
right.
You would go there, you'd play games, you'd do whatever. I mean, parents were just right. Your parents would just be like, go. Go on your bike, go whatever. Like when the lights come back, come home. We'd ride our bikes. We'd ride our bikes 2 miles down like busy roads to go to your friend's house, right? And you'd have like 14 bikes in your friend's house, right? Like,
right. That's how you knew where everybody was.
That's how you knew. And like nobody thought twice. We didn't think twice. Our parents didn't think twice. They're like, all right, well, worst case, it just, if you think about it, call me when you get there, right? Nowadays, like we can't even let our kids, like parents don't even feel comfortable letting their kids like walk to the bus stop by themselves or, like walk through their community by themselves. So I don't think it's so much that we coddle them. I think it's just that like society now has trained, I shouldn't say everybody, but for the most part now, everybody's so overly cautious. I just think it's like the norm now. You know what I mean?
That's
I'm not saying I subscribe to it. There's sometimes that I'll say, like I told my wife, there it is, like, well, I'll drop Braxton off and he can walk over to like the park where I'm at, like with the baseball. She's like, you can't walk to the park. It's in the gated community. It'll be fine.
Right.
It's like, but people think differently, and rightfully so. I mean, the world has changed.
So my question is there more crime and craziness going on than there was in the past? Or is it just more prevalent now because of social media?
I think it's, statistically, I don't know, but I think probably your second one is more, I think it's probably more prevalent now. People know about it more. I think there's more ways to be a predator now. Like you see, like, like these 60 Minutes where like they catch you doing these stuff and like catfishing and social media crap.
Right.
So I think there's definitely more ways that predators get involved, like definitely not saying that's a good thing, but it's like, I think nowadays there's more availability to become a predator, I guess, like, again, you see all these catfishing shows and all that crap. So it's like, I get it, like, oh, I'm just going to meet so-and-so, like my friends from school down at the park. And next thing you know, it wasn't your friends or, nowadays you see all these school things with like jumping and bullying, next thing you know, I think you walk into a disaster. So I think there's more crazy stuff going on.
You think so?
I do. I really do.
I don't know about all that.
Your kids are old and out of the house.
They're not.
That's true.
Slow down. They're not out of my house.
I wrote this other one down too, okay?
What's this other
Listen.
one? Oh, geez. Listen, Linda.
Listen, Linda. As we're getting older, I had to start writing topics down, right? So when we talk about that, yes, okay? Listen, Taylor Swift changed her lyrics to her song for her guy, Travis Kelce.
Well, what do you think? He's the one putting her on the map.
Yeah, it's true. She was just a nobody singer until he came along. Okay? So that led me to my question. Is that, do you ever find, because lately, I feel like with the way that the team is growing, the conversations we're having, the people we're in front of now, things that we're doing, obviously she's changed a little bit of like just this song in general.
Right,
I'm not saying she's changed as a person. I don't know her. I mean, we haven't talked since like last week, okay? Listen, but it's like, do you ever find yourself in certain situations of the people you talk to acting differently or like changing the way you operate? Like, it made me think like she changed her song for Travis Kelce or, like, to make us mind. Do you ever change the way you operate or you do business or the way that you talk to people based on who you're talking to?
Always.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Like, I started thinking about it and I'm like, no, I don't change. I'm consistent in everything I do. But it's funny, and I think it's a good skill to have, and like being able to adapt and mirror and match, especially in our industry. When you're talking about clients, when you're on showings or you're listing, it's like you have to have that mirror and match ability. I think especially in sales, it's not just everything is so robotic, but it got me thinking like, how often do we change?
So I can tell you when I speak to Spanish clients, people in my world laugh. Because I take on the accent and the tonality of the person I'm speaking to.
Tonality, big word, I like it.
Because, like, my normal would be speak like a Cuban, which is fast, cut off words, just aggressive conversations. When I speak to other people, I tend to slow down. Depends on where they're from, right? I tend to slow down and then speak in their tone with their accents and the words that they know. Because I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing sales period for a long time. So I've dealt with a lot of different nationalities, and being in Miami, you deal with all nationalities. So I've learned to do that. But yeah, I've always done that. I always adjust depending on who I'm talking to.
I mean,
you have to.
I find that interesting,
But you have to, though.
And I think you do, but I think it's interesting on how natural, like for some people, how natural that occurs.
Right.
Like you said, like when you speak Spanish, you turn into right? Like you're the Cuban salsa man, right? But it's like it's almost like your alter ego, you know. And like there's some people that you know, you can go through this office or maybe other offices and you're like, hi, this is Aaron. Would you like to sell your home today? Like, right? Like, it's like, so like, yes? Okay. And you can like feel the pause, right? And you're like, if yes, say, oh, yes, I would like to come by today. You know, it's like some people don't have that natural flow where they can live and adjust. And, you know, I think it's a good trait to have. Some people will be like, oh, well, why do you change for certain people? But, you know, I think you have to, especially in our industry where you're dealing with, you know.
I think you have to have conversations, right? So like I told you, the conversation we had with Jim, the solar guy, which is from our BNI group, solar guy, super nice guy. When he came to the house to talk to us, you could tell. I mean, I don't think his presentation was his regular presentation.
Sure.
Because we knew each other.
Right.
And just his way of operating, of saying, hey, you know what? I need to do more research because what we tried to do on your roof, we can't do. Like, I need to add more panels. I got to see how I can do it and what I can move around to get to that number that you need. So I'm not going to even try to sell you today. So I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense.
Was that part of his sales tactic?
Maybe.
To make you think he wasn't going to sell him, but then you thought, ooh, I like that he's not trying to sell me. I'm actually going to buy. Think about it.
No, it's called dealing with somebody who's honest and just doesn't really want to sell you on something he can't sell you on.
Fair enough.
Because he doesn't have all the answers.
Well, and I think that's where research comes big into play. And, you know, I think no matter what industry you're in, research it plays a big important part. Not doing research, what's the cost of not doing research? Well, I can tell you from one instance, not doing research cost me $17,000.
There you go.
Right? So I think it is important, as you know, you mirror and match and you stay, you know, there is that as your approach changes, I think there's that consistency in how you operate, though, like your plan, the structure, your systems, your process, right? So like in this instance where I lost $17,000, it's like I adapted to my client, which was fine, but I also adapted and changed my systems and processes because of that relationship, right? Where I think if you adjust one, you're fine. But when you compromise and adjust what truly is your foundation, your system and processes, things slip through the crack. Just like it slipped through with me.
Yep.
And then you're finding 2 weeks before a closing, there's an issue, and you're taking that person at face value, which a lot of us want to believe everybody is honest and telling you the truth. But it never hurts to do your own research. And this was another reminder. It's like, hey, listen, somebody might tell you something, but it's okay that just because somebody tells you something, you can go back and do your own research to validate what they're saying. Right. Because
you have to.
In this instance, it would have saved me either a lot of time and effort, or I could have got way ahead of the game and maybe had a better solution to the end game.
So that being said, right? That being said, your systems, your processes, what do you think of this weekend for us work-wise?
I think it was a prime example is that getting in the right rooms, which you've been preaching, talking to the right people, and buying into the systems, I think has been huge. I mean, and I think also is that getting out of your comfort zone, right? Like it's the easiest cliche in the book, right? You get out of your comfort zone, you know, get comfortable being uncomfortable, right?
Right.
So for me, as we moved our offices around and we built the admin district in the swamp, right? It's like you could naturally see the energies change. You could actually see like the production change.
Right.
And so for me, that was getting out of my comfort zone because I lost my lazy clutch. Like I can't just sit in my office now and do nothing for a day and be like, oh, it was a good day's work, right? Like dang it, everybody else is doing something. I got to lead by example here, right? So I think that was the first step. And then putting, you know, fine tuning the systems and process that you've been working on and researching for quite some time made a dramatic change in the way that we operate because we were able to review phone calls, listen back on them, review notes, have follow-up phone calls. And I mean, you're talking in a matter of what we started doing the numbers the other day. In a matter of this week, we've put, let's see, we already had $11 million in escrow, almost $12 million in escrow just on the buying side.
Right.
There was 2 more listings that got added to, that was pre this week, that was coming into this week. Then we put, buyers should be going into escrow today.
One's going into
escrow today. Another offers being submitted again today. Today or tomorrow for
the other ones, that's tomorrow.
So you got those going in.
Oh, no, wait. You have one being submitted today and one tomorrow.
And one tomorrow. and then 2 more listings being picked up by the team tomorrow. So I mean, in a matter of a week, by us getting together, having the conversations, being open, being honest, and believing in the new system and process we put in place, I mean, you're talking upwards of $15 million in production.
In a month.
In
a week.
In a month. Yeah, I forget the month. Like in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, we put about that much into escrow. And, you know, it goes back to every agent that you see that's on social media, right, is reposting some title reps like market stats, right? Like, which nobody knows how to read. Like half the agents in the office don't know how to read the market stats, right?
Right.
Or they're getting out there, it's like, look at me, this is the home of the week, right? Or look at my fancy award, right? But it's like, and then they also want to talk about like, oh, this market is tough. Like it's a hard market right now. It's like, okay, we just put $15 million into escrow this week. Like, so
Right.
is it the market? And this is what we were talking about on our mastermind this morning. Is it the market? Or the actual marketing and doing the work, the hard part, right? Because a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when a lot of these weekend warriors came jumping into the real estate market because you could throw a rock and sell a house, right? Now it's like, oh, well, I can't do that anymore, so the market's bad. Is it? Or is it has just changed and you weren't ready for it? You're not marketing properly. You don't have the systems down. You don't have the processes down. You're not consistent in the work that you do. And it's not even, on top of that, it's being specific, right? It's like, you can come in and do work, but like, what does that mean? If I said I got to go to work today, that's one thing. But like, if I say I got to come in, I got to call this person, I got to follow up with this person, I got to get out my cards, I got to get out my birthday wishes, I got to get out, you know, my messaging, I got to get this, I got to get like, dude, now that's specific work, and I think that's what a lot of people come in and do now. They're just like, oh yeah, I'm a real estate agent. Well, what are you doing today? I work. Like, right, and they put out their big old, you know, like how we were talking about this, like, right, like how many agents have you seen that put out with this lawsuit and everything that's happening? Oh, what do agents do? Let me show you this checklist of 100 things that agents do. It's like, get out of here, right? Like if you have to put a list together, like you're not doing your job. Like if you're out there panhandling and like trying to tell these clients like what
Panhandling.
I mean that's what they are, right?
We'll work for commission.
Yeah, it's like I'll work and you should pay me because look at this list that I Googled from googlethisshit.com and put out here, right, that you can do, right? You don't even do half the stuff on that list anyway, but you put it out there to try to defend your commission,
Right?
Your paycheck, right? Man, just go out and earn it. Like you don't have to put out a thing. Like I don't know, I don't know about you, but I sure as heck didn't go out and post or call anybody and say, hey, listen, I know you're a little bit concerned about the market and the rates, but let me tell you 100 things that I do.
No, I didn't do that.
Not to one person.
No, in fact, this morning I came in and I got a referral from a Hispanic, from an agent who did an open house. Yeah. Hey, I have a Spanish referral.
We're getting Eduardo out. That's right.
Yeah, I got a Spanish referral. I'm like, all right, perfect. I'll take care of him. And then I had a commercial broker that I know really well. Mm-hmm. They got a referral from somebody else in Spanish, but he's doing something during F1 here. And he's like, hey, can you take care of this guy for me?
So let me ask you this.
So I'm like, okay, that'll work. I can help you with that.
So take out the fact that there's not a lot of Spanish-speaking agents in our office. Right?
Okay.
Like forget about that. Why do you think those people, and it's not just those people, you can sit around you all day. I mean, people come in and talk to you all day. I joked about setting up, instead of like a lemonade stand, like a talk to Ed stand, and charge
take a number.
Yeah, $100 a half hour to talk to you.
We should get one of those signs and take a number. Now serving number 45.
You gotta put one of those out by the office door. I like that idea a lot.
Those are cool.
We need a deli counter.
I'm
We need a deli counter by the door.
I'm going to see if I can get one of those on Amazon, because they have to sell them.
They sell everything. So, okay, so the question becomes, why do you think those people come to you? Because take the Spanish-speaking factor out of it. I mean, the commercial guy you're talking about, I know who it is. And I mean, they're a smart dude, very good at their job dude, but he came to you. Obviously, he was busy, but like, why do you think that is?
Trust.
See, and I figured that's what
trust is that's the only reason, right? Because they're gonna bring it to their. So when you refer somebody, right, and we talk about this all the time, and especially in BNI, we're part of BNI, and we talk about it all the time, is trust. Do you build that trust where people want to? They trust if I give you something, you're gonna do your job.
Right.
You're gonna do what you need to do to help this client out, or are you just saying no? It's It's just because you're the only one that speaks Spanish or you're the only one that can do commercial. No, I mean, he works in a brokerage that's all commercial.
Right.
So I'm sure they have another
Right.
Spanish.
There was somebody there.
There's another Spanish person there. But to him, it's like, okay, if I'm going to be out of pocket for a week and I need somebody that I can trust that's not going to drop the ball, this guy's the guy.
And that goes back to my whole point when it was like, okay, the marketing, the systems, the process, what is it? The agents that don't want to put in the work, all those guys that are going to be lazy and all that, they're going to blame the market.
Correct.
Right? And they're going to, those are going to be the people that, well, I'm out there marketing, right? Okay. Well, you're the one out there doing the home of the week, or, like, look at this, or here's my award, or here's my top 100 reasons why buyer agents are important. Like, here's your checklist, right, from Google, right?
Right.
Or there's the one agent that just like, listen, you can keep all your awards. You can take your Google My List, whatever. Like, but this is who I am. This is what you get with me. My reputation speaks for myself. You want to know about me? Here you go. Here's my content. Here you go. Do your research, right? We talked about research before. And it's not that we're trying to outsource, that work, but it's like you've done all the work. The content is there. We're coming from a place of value. And you've established that to you more than any award, more than any list. To you and our team, it's trust and relationships.
Right.
Those are the two big things. So when we go out, it's like, again, our marketing is built on get to know us, trust us, let us talk to you. You don't feel comfortable, you don't trust us, we don't have a relationship, well, then maybe we're not the right fit for each other. But that's what we build our team and stuff on, and that's what you've built, your legacy on. Your reputation is built off trust, work ethic, relationships, and I think that's, like you said, that's why people come to you. That's why I migrated to you.
Well, that's why I think everybody comes to us, right? Because I saw the shout out to the Heat. They're won their last 5 games straight.
I didn't follow basketball.
Oh, come on.
Wait till we get to the finals. Basketball's the biggest waste of time. Listen, you play 4 quarters.
Here we go.
You play 4 quarters. God knows how long you watch the game, and it comes down to the last 65 seconds.
So watch the last minute and a half.
There you go.
Fine.
That's it. That's all I'm in for. Just because it's either a blowout and the game's already over by halftime, or it's the last 65 seconds or all the games.
Anyways, I saw the Heat wear a jersey.
Okay.
And when I saw it, it resonated. It was like, that makes a lot of sense.
Higher ed.
No, that would have been perfect.
Ogre Network. Offices in Orlando, Miami.
Okay, no, it's actually, it said Heat culture.
Oh, there you go.
Because that's what they preach. And then I'm watching teams this weekend on football, and it's all culture. The teams that were winning, it was based on culture. So what happened to the Raiders, right? The Raiders.
I knew. I was hoping you were going to go there.
Oh.
Because I heard Max Crosby say the same thing about AP, right? Probably because AP came up through, Herm Edwards, ASU, Sun Devil.
He credits a lot to ASU, so I'll give you credit for that one.
But Max Crosby came out and said,
Sun Devil, right?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Max
Pitchfork,
Crosby came out and said the same thing. He was like, dude, the only thing that's really changed is the culture.
Right.
We got the same guys. The team is virtually the same. The players are the same. They changed, obviously, some key personnel. But he says the thing that's different, and from 3 weeks ago till today, is the culture is different.
Well, it's funny because he said 2 things, and we'll end on this one. But these 2 things. He said if he was walking down a dark alley, there's 2 guys he would want with him. I think one of the guys is Josh Jacobs.
The other guy's Chuck Norris.
No, the other guy is, I think his last name is Spinelli.
Okay.
And shout out to him. His wife's having a baby. He just
good.
announced it yesterday on national TV. But he was the guy that got the interception at the end of the game.
Number 41.
41.
He
He
got
got
a
the
big tackle in the backfield too.
But why did he now become prevalent and nobody knew who he was 2 weeks ago? Because AP went to him and said, if I get into a fight, you're the guy I want. I'm building my defense around you. And just mindset. It got into his head, and he's like, all right, I'm the guy. I'm going to go to war. So he changed. And Josh Jacobs, same thing. Last week he ran for, I think, 80-something yards. Last night it was 113 yards. Why? Because he said, I'm building my offense around you. I don't care about anybody else. If I got you 2 guys, I'm going into war with both of you guys. Yep. And it's the mindset. It's the confidence, the trust in them. And they both, in turn, trust AP. And they're like, you know what? If AP says we're the guy, we're the guys.
Well, and I know we're done, but it's a mutual respect too, right? Because they also talked to Devontae Adams and said, and Josh Jacobs, and they came up to the new Bo Hardengrave, whatever his name is. He came up and said, "What plays do you guys like? Give me a list of plays that you guys like." Josh Jacobs is like, nobody's. I mean, it's been since John Gruden, since somebody came to me and said, "Which ones do you feel comfortable? Which ones do you think are the money making plays?"
Yep.
And he said, when I saw the call sheet for this week, and he goes, "Oh, this is sick." He goes, we got this, because they got that buy-in too. So that trust is a two-way street, and it's just like us. We got to listen to our clients and let that mutual trust there. Now they're building that mutual trust too, which is huge.
And last thing before we go, I think we need to create a video in the sales office of dancing after we close an escrow.
I thought you were going to
Just
say
like
me
Devontae.
falling off the wall.
No, not that one. But Devontae Adams, he was jamming after they won.
Maybe we have to get some AP cigars too.
Maybe. They got cigars for everybody. All right, brother. We'll talk to you next week. Hopefully you have a great week. Hopefully you open another $10 million in escrow.
I think that's the plan.
All right,
Stay safe. Don't fall off any walls out there.
Yep.